Good afternoon, and welcome to the 45th Convocation of the North Carolina School of Sciences and Mathematics. My name is Christopher Pedro, President of the Morganton Student Senate. On behalf of all NCSSM campuses and programs, it is my honor to begin the program. All who are able, please rise and remain standing for the national anthem and Pledge of Allegiance. We will now listen to Senior Kennedy Jones sing the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
I would now like to invite Zane Patel, President of the Durham Student Senate, to lead the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It's now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Terry Lynch, Vice Chancellor and Chief Campus Officer for NCSSM Durham.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you, Zane, and thank you everyone for being with us today. I have the pleasure of introducing our dignitaries this afternoon on our Durham campus. Please hold your applause until all have been recognized. As I call your name, please stand. NCSSM Chancellor Todd Roberts. Convocation Speaker Catherine Stewart, class of 1985. Provost and Vice Chancellor for Academic Programs Katie O'Connor. Durham President of Student Government Israel James. Durham President of Student Senate, Zane Patel. Board of Trustees members, Tanya Smith-Jackson, class of 1982. Candace Watts-Smith, class of 2002. Alumni Association President, Mary Roeder, class of 1994. Parent Association Chair, Jane Bullock, class of 1989. Deans, Taylor Gibson, Garrett Love, Lori Noonan, Javier Pabon, Amy Scheck. Durham Faculty Senate President, Armand Moore. And that is our dignitaries. Please join me in a round of applause. It is now my pleasure to introduce Mr. Kevin Baxter, Vice Chancellor and Chief Campus Officer for NCSSM Morganton.
Thank you very much, Dr. Lynch, and greetings from Morganton. Good afternoon to everyone. We are thrilled to have you all here for this special occasion. I am now honored to acknowledge the special guests and honored guests we have here on the Morganton campus. And we will start with Christopher Pedro, who is the President of the Student Senate here in Morganton. Surprise, right? Dane Humphrey, who is the president of the Student Government Association here on the Morganton campus. Frederick Reese, member, Board of the Trustees. Tanya Little, Associate Vice Chancellor for Academic Programs. Beth Baumgardner, Dean of Mathematics. Jenny Merrill, Dean of Students. Thank you all so very much. You can be seated. And it's now my honor to hand it over to the individual who has anchored, I believe, 14 of these convocation events previously. And we are thrilled to have convocation anchored once again by our Chancellor, Todd Roberts, for the 15th time. Chancellor Roberts, take it away.
Thank you, Mr. Baxter, for that introduction. And let me just say good afternoon to everyone who's here for the 45th convocation of the North Carolina School of Science and Mathematics. And convocation is the ceremonial beginning of each academic year. And so we're really happy to have everyone here in the classes of 2025 and 2026 in our residential and online programs here this afternoon as we are beginning what is going to be an amazing year. I'd like to thank Kennedy and Zane and Christopher and Dr. Lynch and Mr. Baxter for getting us off to a great start. This is the second year that we've done convocation like this, where we've had people in person on both physical campuses, as well as our online students and families across the state joining us virtually. And each year we alternate which campus the keynote speaker is speaking from. And this year, Dr. Stewart is here in Durham. I want to give a special shout out to the many people on both campuses, especially our academic programs team, fine arts, IT, extended learning, and student life teams for making all of the work today, putting in all the work today to make this possible. It's pretty complicated, quite frankly, across both campuses to do this. So thank you for your work in doing that. And this is the goal of these, everyone in multiple places, but together for convocation, is a way that as an institution, we're working to be one institution, although we have multiple programs across, really across North Carolina. So that's really how we want to get this year started off. And that's really what we want everyone to understand. So as we start this school year with convocation, our seniors and many employees here today remember last year when we were doing this for the very first time, and right in the beginning of convocation, we had a brief storm roll through the Durham campus and knock out power, and so it changed our plans. But thankfully, today, although we got some clouds here in Durham, I don't think that's going to happen. Although we did have a tropical storm to get the school year started off with us, and dumped a lot of water, doing some damage both here in Durham and in Morganton and across the state. But although we sort of moved in a day late, we're here today as planned, and I hope that everyone's family across North Carolina fared okay during the Tropical Storm Debbie. So I'm so excited to have all of our residential students on both campuses and here to get to see you. I was in Morganton the past couple of days and got to see students, was here for move-in day and here today. So it's really a joy. And I think what brings the start of the school year to life is all of you being here on campus. And so it thrills me to see all of you. And also I look forward to our online students coming for the first online weekend as we all join together to make this what I believe is going to be a fantastic school year. So I not only want to thank all of our students for being here this afternoon, but also our faculty and staff, as well as families and guests who joined for convocation. You've all done so much to make this the opportunity that this school year holds a reality and possible for all of the students assembled today. And again, I want to welcome members of our Board of Trustees, Alumni Board, Parents Association who are with us this afternoon, and also thank our alumni convocation speaker, Dr. Catherine Stewart, class of 1985. You'll learn more about her when she's introduced, so I'm not going to get into that, but I will just say that Catherine is someone that I greatly admire, both as a professional, but even more as a person. And so I'm thrilled that each year we start with an address from an outstanding alumnus. And I'm looking forward to Dr. Stewart sharing her story and insights with us today. And through her story, hopefully inspiring you as you continue to write yours this year. So thank you, Catherine, for joining us today, and I look forward to your remarks. Each school year, we have a chance to write the next chapter in the NCSSM story. And we can all look forward to the many possibilities a new year brings, just as the many classes before you have. So now here you are all, the nearly 1,500 students in the residential and online programs in the classes of 2025 and 2026, about to embark on a year where your story in many ways will be similar to the story of those first 300 NCSSM students in the classes of 1982 and 1983. And at the same time, they'll be like no other. And that is true for you, whether you're a student in the earliest years of the Morganton campus or the juniors and seniors here in Durham for the 44th and 45th classes, or the students in the 18th and 19th online classes. This is one of the most amazing things about our school, the ability to build on experiences and traditions from the past and innovate for the future. When I speak with alumni from NCSSM's earliest classes to those who graduated in the past decade, I'm amazed at how the experience that they have had and what was transformational for them often sounds very similar. The spaces on campus and some of the people were different for sure, but what they learned, the relationships they formed, the experiences they had and have taken with them are, however, very much the same. So as NCSSM students today, and before you know it, alumni, you'll be connected together through the experiences you've had over not only your 2 years here, but you'll also be connected to the more than 14,000 NCSSM alumni who came before you through your shared NCSSM experiences. So whether you're a student in Durham or Morganton or online now, someplace a decade or 3 down the road, when you meet, you'll share common experiences, just as you will one day when you meet someone from the class of 1994. You'll quickly realize the experiences you have in common and the connection you have all as NCSSM alumni. So I hope this year together with talented students from every corner of North Carolina, amazing faculty and staff, you'll take the countless opportunities you'll have to gain and apply new knowledge in the classroom, test a hypothesis in the lab, make art, design and create a device in one of our fabrication labs, to play and maybe also compete on the field and the court, or to start a club from a long-standing interest, or join a club and discover a brand new interest. I urge you to notice and give your attention to these opportunities as they come along to you, and consider saying yes to some of them, but don't just do it for the grade or the line on your resume, but do it to experience and to learn, to grow and to connect. The opportunities you pursue and invest your time in and energy at NCSSM are mostly of your choice. Maybe not American Studies, but mostly everything else is your choice. That's the one comment in the data science class in Morganton. The opportunities you pursue and invest your time in will be those things that you choose to explore. The many things you will do, the broad breadth of things you'll take an opportunity to learn, or for some of you, you may choose to go more deeply and take 10 math classes while you're at NCSSM. Maybe you'll start exploring broadly and then focus select passions. But I want you to find excitement in trying and gain insight from failure and find joy in whatever you choose to do. This is what will allow you to create your own NCSSM experience and help to design your future. Some of the greatest opportunities you'll have at NCSSM will be found by engaging with your classmates. When I talk to our alumni, what they remember most as being one of the most transformative things about the NCSSM experience is the people, the wonderfully diverse people they meet and become lifelong friends with. We're so fortunate that our student community reflects the rich diversity of our great state. You'll meet people from urban and rural communities, people of different races and ethnicities and cultural backgrounds, religions, sexual orientations, gender identities, life experiences, and points of view. You'll get to know these peers on hall, in the classroom, and across your campus, and across both physical campuses and virtually as well. While so many things around us these days in the world events, media, social media, politics, etc., highlight and focus on things that divide us, like diversity, Whether of our beliefs and opinion or simply someone, but who someone is, those things that people look to use to divide us. I know from my experiences and those of the many members of our community now and over the years, the value of diversity and being open-minded and equity-minded to those in our community and in service to all North Carolinians is core to the NCSSM experience, core to how we live and learn together here at NCSSM. While the impulse can be to seek out those things most like you amid the uncertainty of new surroundings, I challenge you to seek out those who are different from you. There's an adage that reads something like this, quote, "When you believe that you can learn something from everyone, everyone will become someone," end quote. So I encourage you to engage and listen and be ready to share in return. And if you leave NCSSM after 2 years, having not learned from others different than you and not shared who you are with others, you would have missed one of the most valuable and special opportunities this school has to offer, the people, all of the people that make the NCSSM community special. So juniors, I know over the past few days, you've been provided with a lot of information, faced a lot of change and newness, and maybe be a little bit overwhelmed at this point. But I hope that you are enjoying the start of the school year, making friends and excited about where you find yourself. And we are all here, every single one of us here to support you as you begin this journey. As I shared earlier, over the past 44 years, members of the NCSSM community have shared those things, have all shared those things essential to the NCSSM experience and have been so formative, that has been so formative for so many over the years. This has enabled students from different decades to meet and talk about their shared experience, even though it was not the same exact experience. And for all of you, this will be more true than any previous class. With construction projects in Morganton and here in Durham that you get to witness firsthand, this is a particularly special and unique time to be a part of this school and its community. This will also present some challenges that we'll overcome together and then reminisce about overcoming in the decades to follow, kind of like the class of 1988 does when they get together and talk about living in a hotel for the first semester while Hunt Residence Hall is being finished. Or the first few classes do talk about walking down 9th Street to eat meals at EK Poe, right? This is Ms. Jackson. Or the classes of 2023 and 2024 do about picking up their grab-and-go meals out of the former racquetball courts here on the Durham campus, or watching pretty much the entire campus grow up around them as those classes did in Morganton. Your experiences this year will form your own unique memories and stories that will bond you together, but they will also resonate with many who've come before you. So while elements of the NCSSM experience are timeless and are shared among and across classes, the elements are always changing and evolving. More than anything, it's what you and we will all do together this year and over your 2 years that will define your NCSSM experience and add to the rich history of our school. So thank you, and I'm looking forward to a fantastic year. And at this time, I would like to introduce NCSSM Student Government Association Presidents Dane Humphrey in Morganton and Israel James in Durham to provide remarks. Thank you.
You are NCSSM.
No, you're NCSSM.
We are NCSSM. Welcome. My name is Israel James, and I am the student body president here at the North Carolina School of Science and Mathematics, Durham campus.
And my name is Dane Humphrey, and I'm the president at the Morganton campus.
We are here today to welcome each other back, to embrace new faces, and to kick off what promises to be an exciting and productive year. You have accepted the greater challenge, so get ready for all that entails. Today, we gather to celebrate this exhilarating moment that is a cause for celebration. We are here. This moment marks the beginning of significant growth for our school community as it brings us together and reminds us of our shared goals and values.
To our returning seniors, this is the most important year of your life thus far. This year is not only about completing your studies, but about solidifying your role as leaders and innovators. We know that the NCSSM has been able to give you the skills and knowledge that you'll need to make a significant impact. Let this school year be a testament to your growth and resilience. And I know this, so I encourage you all to not just complete your studies or your academics or complete academic competitions, but encourage you to help your fellow classmates. That means not just your fellow classmates, but your juniors as well. Be the friend that you would need.
To our incoming juniors, welcome to the beginning of the rest of your lives. You are now part of a community that values curiosity, collaboration, and the pursuit of knowledge. The NCSSM experience is unlike any other. It is a place where you will be challenged to think critically, push boundaries, and explore the vast possibilities of science, mathematics, and beyond. You have shown remarkable promise to be here, and now it's time to nurture that potential.
NCSSM is a beacon of excellence. Our school is renowned for its rigorous academics, cutting-edge opportunities, and a supportive community that fully potentializes both intellectual and personal growth. We believe in the power of collaboration, and we believe in the importance of experience. These values are the bedrock of our institution as we strive to solve the world's most difficult and pressing challenges.
Our commitment to innovation is unwavering. Whether it's through groundbreaking research in our labs, creative projects in the arts, or leadership initiatives that drive positive change, NCSSM students are at the forefront of shaping the future. We are not just students, we are pioneers, asking bold questions and exploring uncharted territories in all career fields. Whether it's developing new methods in computational physics, advancing renewable energy solutions, or exploring the mysteries of the cosmos, our students are engaged in work that has the potential to really change the world. This is where curiosity meets discovery, where the spark of an idea can ignite a change in thinking. We are scientists, mathematicians, artists, and leaders ready to make a difference.
This year, let us embrace the spirit of innovation. Let us challenge ourselves to think differently, to push past the normal, and to inspire one another. As we embark on this new school year, let us embrace new opportunities with enthusiasm and determination. Together, we can create an environment where everyone feels supported, motivated, and encouraged to reach their full potential.
One of my favorite experiences at NCSSM was actually a year ago from today. Last year, during our convocation, the power went out. As a junior on campus, sitting beside my future best friends on the bleachers, I was very nervous and afraid, I'll admit it. But that scary feeling quickly left my body as I saw flash after flash go off of students taking pictures with their friends in the darkness. I guess after our phone storages were full from taking photos, we started singing Taylor Swift all together. That day is the reason why the class of 2025 is so close to one another today. There were so many laughs and new friendships formed that day that it almost seems unreal. This is why I give that day credit for giving me a sense of family of everyone here at NCSSM. Even though we are not experiencing a power outage right now, it is still important that we foster that sense of community going forward this school year.
And to the juniors, a year ago today, we seniors are right where you are now. We remember that experience of being so nervous, but so excited to be a part of this amazing community. There might be a point where you even wonder if I was cut out for this, or why did they pick me? Like, do I have what it takes to be here? And I know that feeling because I felt that myself when I first came here. But that's why I want you to know, trust us when we say this. You belong here. You were chosen for a reason. As long as you keep striving to be your best self, you can push past any challenge that comes before you.
It is okay if you make mistakes. We've all been there. Don't let that hold you back from trying new experiences here. The only people who fail are those who do not try at all. Some ways to accept the greater challenge are to get outside yourself. Do not be afraid to try new things. NCSSM students are from all over North Carolina, each with so many different stories, experiences, and cultures. So make sure that you take this time to meet and network with new people. You might learn new perspectives on different topics.
But also remember that it's not only just about you. It's about helping others. To give back to the community, you are not only chosen because you're so smart or because you make good grades, but most of us have, but it's about more than that. It's because you have an ability to help someone else. So I encourage you to embrace our school, to embrace the community, to not just view a campus as a campus or this school as a school, but to embrace it as a place where you can call home, a place where you find friends, but not just friends, find family.
To the juniors, take this time to explore, to question, and to grow. To the seniors, lead with integrity, mentor your juniors, and leave a legacy of success. Together, let us make this year at NCSSM one of remarkable achievements, personal growth, and shared success.
Ask for help,
Offer help,
socialize, and take breaks.
and remember that what you get out of this academic year is exactly what you put into it.
But also remember, you are NCSSM, and you've accepted the greater challenge. Thank you.
I would now like to introduce our Provost and Vice Chancellor for Academic Programs, Dr. Katie O'Connor.
All right. On behalf of academic programs, I would like to welcome all of our residential and online students in the classes of 2025 and 2026, our faculty, staff, families, and NCSSM friends. I have the great privilege of introducing our Convocation speaker for the 45th Convocation, a graduate from the NCSSM class of 1985, Dr. Catherine Stewart. Dr. Stewart is a member of our NCSSM Board of Trustees, and she just moved from the Senior Vice Provost for Faculty and Academic Affairs role at NC State to a professor position in the Department of Psychology at NC State. She was barely 15 when she was accepted at NCSSM. Her parents argued about her coming here. They both knew that this would be a good place for her academically. Her father was an engineer, and he thought the whole idea of this school was just fascinating, although it had only been open for 3 years. Her mother, on the other hand, was reluctant and cried a lot when they drove away on move-in day. But Catherine mentions how brave her mom was to set aside her fears and her sadness and let her come. She describes what her parents did to let her leave home 2 years early and move into NCSSM as a gift that they gave her. As you will learn today, when she arrived on campus in 1983, she faced 2 undiagnosed anxiety disorders, but she remembers feeling and being completely supported by NCSSM faculty and staff while she was here. In her junior year, it was the school nurse who was also her swim team coach that helped her navigate some challenging and high conflict times. And she recalls how Ginger Wilson made her feel in her humanities classes, and the way her pre-calculus, French, and biology teachers all had big expectations of her, and they were going to insist in a supportive way that she reach those expectations. They were not going to stop believing in her, and they were going to be with her the whole way. Well, that support from 1983 through 1985 has not changed today. Whether you are in Morganton right now, in Durham, or watching online, look around at the adults, staff, and faculty who are with you. NCSSM employees are known to be incredibly nurturing, encouraging, and benevolent. These adults are at the best high school in North Carolina for a reason. They dedicate their professional lives to help you thrive. From the moment Catherine decided to become a university professor, she knew she wanted to be the kind of professor that her faculty and staff at NCSSM had been for her. She is proud of all of her educational, scientific, and professional accomplishments. But when she gets an end of the year evaluation from a student that says something like this, Dr. Stewart is one of the toughest professors you'll have. She expects a lot from you in this class, and she's a tough grader, but she will make you feel like you can totally do it. She believes in you, and she is there for you. And I'm kind of surprised at myself by what I could do in her class. Catherine sees these student evaluations as a legacy from her teachers at NCSSM. They inspired her in terms of the kind of professor she is today. She says transformative teaching transforms. So let me say that again. Transformative teaching transforms. And that's what we do at NCSSM. For the past several years, I have had the joy of attending monthly meetings with Catherine, and the meetings we attend together are large meetings with 25 administrators. Okay, so let's take a moment to picture this. 25 administrators all in the same room. The meetings are riveting at the very least. You need to review the agenda in advance, be prepared for some very long and interesting conversations. Have you ever been in a meeting with a large group before and you just watch? The first person speaks, the second person speaks, the first person speaks again, the third person speaks, first person speaks again. You know what I mean, right? Well, Catherine doesn't know this, but she is always the 9th person to speak. I will keep a tally on my agenda because I did this because I couldn't wait for her to speak. When she spoke, it was like wisdom happened, experience, knowledge, good judgment. That's wisdom, and that's what would happen when she spoke. Being the 9th speaker actually means she's a listener and she's a problem solver. She would listen to all the perspectives, and while she is listening, she is synthesizing information so quickly in her brain. She's hearing, for example, how people are struggling for answers or why a process might be convoluted. Remember, this is a group of administrators, and she's pulling together information to help sort things out for people. She has this talent to simplify. So when I would see her hand go up in the meeting, I would think, yes, Catherine's about to speak. Clarity is on the way. I would feel a sense of calm every time she spoke, because when she speaks, it's with kindness. It's always with professionalism. It's always based on fact or a procedure or a policy. And let me tell you, she knows a lot of policies. She's very intelligent, and her responses are fair. They're always ethical, and she always advocates for a group, whether it's students, employees, or those who are underserved. What kind of speaker are you? Are you the first speaker, or are you the 9th speaker? I hope more people choose to speak like Catherine and offer the calm and clarity to conversations. NCSSM, please give a warm welcome and round of applause to, well, the 9th person to speak today, Dr. Catherine Stewart.
Well, thank you very much, Vice Chancellor O'Connor, for that very kind introduction. I'm all shaky now. And thank you also, Chancellor Roberts, for inviting me to be here today. I'm so honored to have been asked to do this. And to be honest, I'm a little astonished. These reasons will become clear in a moment, but I am so happy in a way that, oh gosh, doesn't really have words. But I was asked to give a talk, so I better have some words, right? So here's a word you've heard a lot over the last few days, and you'll probably hear many, many more times while you're here at NCSSM: success, success. And yes, you will have a lot of success. I know it, for sure, for sure. And success is interesting. It's desirable, it's fun. You've had some already, and you'll most certainly have more. But I'm not going to talk about success. I'm going to talk about another word: courage. I want to share with you why I think courage is more interesting, more desirable, and more important than success. I want to share how I think that while success is usually happy and fun, courage is often dark and painful. And because it's dark and painful, we may shy away from it, even though I believe in the end, it's the thing we will end up proudest of, even more than our successes. You heard from Dr. O'Connor that I'm a researcher, I'm an academic leader, but of all the things she said about work identities, the thing that's important to me is that I'm a professor. So here's something I learned about teaching. The syllabus is important. It tells students what to expect, right? I'm going to talk about courage using 4 words. So here's your syllabus for today. Here are your 4 words. Fear, failure, family, friendship. These 4 things, fear, failure, family, and friendship, are things that have been my companions for my entire life, and I hope they are yours too. Even fear and failure. I mean, I am scared to death. I'm sweating like crazy up here. I am so scared, but I showed up. Just like you showed up to this rather scary place. So here we are, together. Courage. So let's take a deep breath, plunge in, and start with the first word, fear. It wasn't until I was 40 years old that I started telling people that I have anxiety disorders. And as you heard Dr. O'Connor say, I have anxiety disorders, plural, generalized anxiety disorder and obsessive compulsive disorder. And I've had them pretty much forever. I had them when I was here at Science and Math, but they were not diagnosed. So I just spent a lot of time here wrapped up in anxiety and fear and just thinking I was a mess. Okay, I was a mess. Oh my God, that was such a mess. But thanks to some great counselors, teachers, and community coordinators, I made it through. But I was freaked out a lot. And you're gonna be a mess sometimes too, because we're all a mess sometimes. Maybe you have anxiety or other mental health concerns. Maybe you don't, but you will be freaked out and fearful at times while you're here. Maybe it'll be because you're thinking, did I choose the right class? Is this class going to overwhelm me? How am I going to manage all the work? Am I going to be able to make that experiment happen? What about the argument that you had with your friend and whether the friendship will ever be okay again? Are you scared about what's just happening in the world? Here's the thing. Courage is not about not being scared. Courage is about feeling fear and walking into the world with an open heart. I want to say that again. You know, when instructors repeat something, that means you're supposed to take notes. Courage is feeling fear and walking into the world with an open heart. So you jump into the work, not knowing how you'll make it through, and maybe you find a study buddy or a study group. Instead of avoiding your friends that you fought with, you go to them, you take a deep breath and you say, look, I'm really freaked out about this argument we had, and I don't know how we're going to figure it out, but the friendship matters to me, so let's figure it out. Maybe you look at the deeply, deeply scary things that are happening in the world. You choose one thing where you want to make a difference. You find some folks who care about it, you get together, and you do a little bit to make it a little bit better. That's courage. Every day, and I mean every single day of my life, I am scared and anxious. That's the truth. My anxious brain weasels scream at me every day. You can't do this. It's too much. What if you can't do it? They're going to hate you. Run away, run away, run away. And every day, I face my brain weasels and I say, I hear you. And I know you're just trying to protect me. but I want to be out there in the world and I'm going to do it. When you are fearful here at Science and Math, feel the fear. If your brain weasels yell at you, okay, they're yelling. Lift your head, reach out to others, and walk into the world with an open heart. I'm not going to lie to you. Sometimes it's going to be agony, but sometimes it's going to be awesome. One of the biggest fears that I had when I got here to Science and Math was failure, and that's our second word, failure. I was so good at my home high school. I mean, I was very good, very good. And when you're really good at something, and every one of you is very good at something, I know this, it's easy to get comfortable staying in that place, just being super good at it, because it gives you a little dopamine hit of, yay, success, yay me, for relatively little effort. And staying there in that place where you already know you're good isn't where courage happens. Being out on the edge of failure is. So I'm going to let you in on a secret. I hope the folks up here and the faculty and student life team in Morganton don't mind. But your instructors and student life teams, one of their jobs is to get you out there on the edge of failure and hang out there with you. Because one of the best things that you can learn while you are here is how to fail well. When I was here, I was barely, and I do mean barely, passing calculus. For the first quarter of class, I was struggling, and my brain weasels were out of control. Failure. They were screaming at me, failure. And I was curled up in a little ball, psychologically speaking, every single day in class. And my teacher, Dot Doyle, noticed. And she didn't indulge my fear of failure, not one bit, because that is most certainly not who she is. She just said, I know you can do this. And she hung in there with me while I tried again and again and again. And in the end, I passed the Cal AP exam by the skin of my teeth, but I did it. Thank you, Dot. And thank you to all of my teachers here. You taught me to be intellectually courageous. And now I am a researcher and a scientist where taking risks and sometimes failing is what it's all about. NCSSM didn't just give me the gift of education, it gave me the gift of courage, because courage is standing out on the edge of failure, scared out of your wits, and trying. Courage is getting out on the edge of failure by choice. By choice. And most importantly, courage is standing out on the edge of failure and choosing to connect with someone else, reaching out to a counselor, a teacher, a mentor, a friend who believes in you and will stand with you when that failure is looming or when the failure has hit and you want to curl in a ball and hide. So chase the dopamine hits of easy success. We all do it. I do it. It feels great. I love it. But while you're here at NCSSM, find those places where you're pretty sure you are out, so far out on the edge of failure that you can hear tree branches cracking. Get out on the edge of failure with someone who believes in you and then take the risk. Because the dopamine hit when you lean into the fear of failure and you make it, oh, that is so sweet. Other times you will crash and burn, and that is no fun. And it can even be crushing. And I really hope you'll find the courage, and it takes big courage after a failure to reach out to those same people and ask for help. Failure is inevitable when you take a big risk, but that's not something to be ashamed of. We learn from those moments, and that is what this place is for. So now we're to our third word, family. Now, I believe we have families of origin and families of choice, and that they are all equally important parts of family. My spouse is here today, and she's been the very best choice in my life. She's been helping me be courageous for almost 33 years. And because of those 33 years, she understands why today I'm going to talk about my mom. Now, as Dr. O'Connor said, my mom and I had a tough relationship. We loved each other, but we struggled to understand each other. And she didn't want me to come to science and math. She didn't. She knew it would be good for me. She knew I would be challenged here, but she really did not want me to leave home. She didn't tell me until I was a good bit older, but every time she and my dad dropped me off here at school, she would cry all the way home. All the way home. But she was courageous, and she did a very hard thing, letting me go. And when I called her, when I was struggling with my fear and my failure, overwhelmed, she never once told me that I could give up and come home, even though I think maybe sometimes she would have loved it if I had decided that. But I didn't realize that back then she was teaching me courage. This past September, my mom died. She faced a horrible illness, and she faced it bravely in many, many ways. And a few days before she died, we had a really long talk. We talked about a lot of stuff that will always just be between us. But I'm going to share with you this one thing. I said to her, Mom, you were so brave to let me leave home when I was 15. Thank you for being courageous back then so that I could fly. Every time I'm brave for the rest of my life, I'm going to carry your courage with me. Courage is seeing your family's courage and borrowing from it, even when you don't realize you're borrowing from it. Look for the courage in your family of origin and in your family of choice. See it, respect it, and borrow from it when you need to. Finally, friendship. Most alumni will indeed, as Chancellor Roberts has said, will tell you that the friends that you make at Science and Math will be some of the best friends you'll ever have. And I need to admit to you right here and right now that I turned my back on that reality for too long. I gave in to my anxious brain weasels who managed to convince me that the many mistakes that I made while I was here, the very, very jerky things that I did while I was here, so bad, were too much, and that no one was interested in staying in touch with me after graduation. And so I stayed away. But there's a funny thing about the Science and Math connection. Once it's there for life. And once I mustered up the courage to reconnect with my hive, my life turned into something magic. And I mean it. My friends are the magic in my world. Now, as students in the audience right now, here in Durham, in Morganton, online, you will probably find it quite difficult to imagine what your lives will be like when you are in your mid-50s. I don't know what your science and math friendships will look like in the year 2065. Take a minute, take a minute. So, I know, right? Trust me. But those friendships in 2065 will still be there. They will. Don't stay away. In our friend group, we have celebrated incredibly joyous moments, and we have helped each other through some unimaginable challenges. For almost 2 months this summer, one of my science and math friends was sitting in Duke Hospital beside her spouse, who'd been healthy one day and the next day had had a major heart attack and ended up needing and getting a heart transplant. None of her science and math friends from 40 years ago could take away her fear or her spouse's fear. But for 7 weeks, one of us was there in the hospital with her and her spouse every single day. Because sometimes when a friend is facing something terrifying, all you can do is be there. That's it. But being there is a lot. Courage is about being there for your friends in tough times. And courage is very much about being willing to accept help when you need it. Courage is about facing some of the scariest things we can ever face side by side with our friends here at Science and Math, and afterwards too, maybe even in 2065. Courage is better together. So my brain weasels are screaming at me right now. They're screaming at me about how this speech was probably a downer. They're screaming about how it probably should have been more about success and less about courage. But courage means hearing the brain weasels scream at you and walking into the world with an open heart anyway. So here I am. I am proud of my successes as a scientist, as a professor, as a university leader, and as a friend. I'm proud of those things. And many of my successes were made possible because of what NCSSM gave me. But I'm going to be honest with you. I'm even more proud of the times that I was courageous. So yes, I wish each and every one of you every possible success. And if you come to NC State after you leave here, come find me, because I would be delighted to celebrate those successes with you. But more than success, truly, more than that, I wish you courage. Hundreds and even thousands of unicorns and dragons stand with you. Ask for help. Do the hard thing, the scary thing. Face your fears. Face your failures with your friends, with your family, and with this amazing NCSSM team beside you. You are never, ever alone. Courage. Thank you.
Catherine, thank you again for your courage for getting up here and telling your story and being very inspiring. So thank you so much for being here. And as a token of our appreciation, we have this for you, which is, for those that don't know, this is NCSSM, a rendering of the Durham campus done by the original and first art teacher at NCSSM, who in fact was the very first employee, Joe Lyles. So Catherine, thank you. Again, thank you. Thank you for that. Wow, that was fantastic. So as we close this 45th convocation, I just again want to say thank you to Dr. Stewart for being here with us today. And also thanks again to our academic programs team, fine arts, IT, extended learning, student life, facilities, for all making this afternoon possible across both campuses and virtually. And again, to our fantastic musicians, Kennedy and Kahan and Mac, who opened us up with the processional and the music in advance, and to our student leaders, Israel, Dane, Christopher, and Zane. And a huge thanks to Dr. O'Connor and Dr. Little and Dr. Tichy and Mr. Berner and Miss Lambert for all of your work in planning this event. It really does truly take a village to pull off a multi-venue collaborative convocation. So thank you all for that. And to our amazing faculty and staff, thank you for getting ready for the start of the academic year and what's going to be an amazing first semester and academic year here at NCSSM. And for everyone here, as you think about the year ahead, and as Dr. Stewart mentioned, there'll be challenges along the way, looking for that courage and the commitment to motivation and your motivation, the same courage, commitment, and motivation that's gotten you here today. I hope that you will continue to bring to all that you do. And again, every school year brings challenges, but what you all make of them, what we make of them together, will define our school year. And so you'll find here, as Dr. Stewart mentioned, that supported her during her 2 years at NCSSM, you'll find that there are no more amazing and committed professionals anywhere, and that we're all here to support you. And as Dr. Stewart said, you're not alone. You have amazing peers, friends that you have now, you'll get to know, and amazing faculty and staff here to support you. So take advantage of all of the things, all of this support and these opportunities that you have, and grow your interests and passions, and strive to be your best self and to help those around you be better, and to help our community to be better. This year is exactly what we're going to make of it. So I'm looking forward to an incredibly fantastic year, and could not have asked for a better start, Catherine. So thank you for that. So this time, if you would please rise for the NCSSM alma mater. The words are on the back of your program. And NCSSM Durham student Andrea De La Pena will be leading us in the alma mater.
Of a school
So if you would, please remain until the recessional is completed. And then at the end, if you're in Morganton, there's a reception that's being held in the cafeteria and outside the academic commons. And here in Durham, we're going to be on the lawn for a picnic, but with the weather, we'll be in the dining hall. So again, thank you so much, and let's have a fantastic school year.